are very simple. You win this, you're into Copenhagen. You lose it, you're going home.
Yeah, and at some sense, it's the worst place in the bracket to lose. It's Heartbreak Hotel in the lower bracket final, because you cannot have another instance if you're on the XSET team where you get within touching distance and you just can't make it. For FaZe, I really agree with the Desk. They're playing with house money here. They've made an insane run, and the question is just whether or not they can keep it up. Interesting to see that they've picked the attack side here on Split. Their attack side has looked pretty poor in their previous games that they've played, you know, when they were going up against 100 Thieves, but at the same time, their first half has been fantastic. So you've got the two kind of dueling against each other here. If FaZe can get out to something hot, could bode really well.
Let's go right into it. Pistol round, an important one here on Split, and you're going to see some slow, purposeful gameplay from XSET. FaZe probably looking to do the opposite a lot of the time, I think.
Well, you heard it from Valen as well, kind of explaining how these compositions tend to work. Obviously going for something slightly different here on the pistol.
Of course.
All gathering up outside of A. And you won't expect XSET to be playing aggressively into you here. The FaZe are more so playing to deny information. The flash, obviously, and the fact that they've heard a headhunter over by A ramp indicates there's somebody there. And now a knife, a fault line, 2 smokes, and Cryo. I mean, they're just sending it.
They're just sending it. Cryo is under pressure, but he's got to anchor it. Lock it down for the team. He's got that crossfire. BCJ from on high. And all the players of FaZe are just toppling one after the other. And Cryo, well, plays it patiently. Doesn't overextend himself. Rendezvous TP's away to safety. Fly is struggling a little bit. Early days yet. Boombot still survives there, but Dicey and try and even this out now.
We've seen some insane moments from these FaZe players. I'm not just talking about Dicey. Fly has been nuts too.
I don't want to count these guys out.
Not by any means, but look at the respect that XSET are giving them. Allowing them to take site, get the spike, maybe even go for a plant here before XSET decide to close the noose.
Okay. Well, there's one nade. Still Dicey, you've got to be joking. You've got to be joking, man. Back against the wall, there's no shot he's able to hit those shots and rattle it off, but at the end of the day, it's XSET who will take away that pistol round.
And I feel like that pistol kind of summarizes what you're going to be seeing all throughout this best of 5 series.
It's going to be a quick bingo game, I think.
Explosive nature coming out from FaZe. Their players are fabulous. They can pull out ridiculous moments. You saw the 1v4 from Superman, Dicey, Baby Bear. Everybody on this team can have their moments. And XSET are going to try and play as drilled as possible. That is the name of the game for them. Really focusing on that teamwork, setting up good crossfires, having clinical retakes, and putting the FaZe players in unwinnable situations.
Yeah.
You can be as good as you like. Hello, wait a second. FaZe are going for the force. They love going for this. Every single time they're on the attack and they get the spike down on the pistol, they're going to force second round.
Always going for it. The Trailblazer just whipping past. Probably gathering a bit of information, potentially, but the players of FaZe were tucked around the corner, hiding themselves.
It is the same setup here, except Cryo's not anchoring the A side.
This time they're taking a bit of ramp control, but no, it's just a pivot. Baby Bay was holding it for a moment. Stun, sent across. Guns being fired. Except more than aware now that they bought to this one. And they're going to get this plant down on top of it. Cryo, he's being pressured down to 40 health. No kills on either side, but eventually something's got to give. Something's got to topple. Firing from either side as well. The exchange of utility, snake bites, nades, all of it just going one side to the other. Both teams trying to wrangle for control of A Heaven.
BCJ's doing heavy lifting, just trying to heal the rest of his team up. And XSET, they're happy to be in a retake scenario, but without A Heaven control,
no way.
This is not possible.
No,
all funneling into Superman and Poised. And that's why FaZe forces second round. They can get into some really tricky scenarios. And XSET couldn't find the pick that they needed there. Once FaZe had got up A ramp, that was good night.
Yeah, and for how purposeful XSET love to play the game, I feel like as well, a matchup against FaZe, they're the kind of team where you don't want to give them an inch because they will take a mile. One little misstep, not clearing the corner, not expecting Superman to be there.
Sure, I think the wider problem for XSET was that they just didn't have any control over A Heaven. FaZe were very proactive in that post plant. Talk about proactivity. Here's XSET going for a quite unusual A main push with 3 of their players and Zekken behind.
A contact thing, Dicey going to be the one absorbing this one. The wall goes up now. Dicey's aware though. He knows that's just to try and stop and work away around his trademark. Mowing down the opposition. Feeding him a couple of those Ultor points as well. He's going to be looking to try and get that tour de force online relatively soon.
Yeah, that is going to be extremely dangerous as you head into the next round where XSET have rifles. This time, that play just not even slightly working. As soon as Aaron puts down the wall to get past the trademark, it might work if Dicey's playing another position, if he's in sewers or helping his team take mid control, and he just leaves that trademark alone. But when Dicey's within audible range of the wall happening there,
He just knows.
He reads everything.
Yeah, fully aware.
And so X really are going to have a challenge in this next round. Zekken, of course, in a 1v5 here with only a classic, has little to no chance of making this one happen. But XSET are given some time here, and Def is given some time to think over what their plan should be against Dicey's op. And it's not normal that you would be too much afraid or build a game plan around an attacking op player on Split of all places, but on this map, on any map, if you put a tour de force or an op into Dicey's hands on their attack side, he's finding you openers.
He's a menace.
He really is. They can work him into such great positions here, up through mid, peeking towards B heaven. They can have him hold the line towards A ramps.
Yeah.
That is your first prime game in flawless of this match. As Dicey just mops up XSET over by A.
And Dicey being one of the heavy hitters for FaZe in terms of his playoff performance as well. He's been right up there.
It's been spectacular. So their answer is to put Cryo on an op. He's going to be holding A heaven. Look at how passive Cryo's positioned, actually, at the beginning of this round. They're anticipating FaZe to take really early A ramp control. That's what they're doing. And Baby Bay walks into the sight line.
Does get punished, though.
He misses.
Yeah, Cryo whiffs the shot ever so slightly, and Baby Bay, wow. You already know he's just going to be wandering straight up into this one, but Aaron takes a slide off angle, works his way up there into the ropes, and he does catch Baby Bay, who was playing slightly alone mid. Being played pretty heavily, nade in the hand, but Aaron, he covers his knees to drop down across the ropes. Dodge and juking sideways this way. That Superman, though, still rips his head off. It matters not.
But Aaron's kind of snarled them up there, and that was a really nice dynamic play from him. Or from Aaron, rather, sorry. In the middle of the round, to be able to get behind the neon wall, pick up a kill, and still be there to collect the mid push. It didn't go exactly to plan for XSET. And now Dicey is the playmaker. Superman's not really anywhere in a position where he can make anything happen, just has the spike in market. And there are XSET players all over the place in dangerous positions. These are the rounds where Dicey can use his tour de force to pick off players in spots you would not expect an attack opper to be able to.
Yeah, and look at how scared XSET are. They are so worried about the potential lurk through into the spawn. Cryo just gets off the angle for but a moment.
Yeah,
leaves it.
And that threat that Dicey could be in spawn has just given them free access to the B side. They must be aware that BCJ could be here, but are they going to clear it?
BCJ eventually finds it. That's just fortunate timing. Dicey wandering around, just trying to clear every potential angle. Now just let up to Superman. Quick little reload, gets that one bit of information. Of course, he knew BCJ was there anyway, but it is just cautious play still. Walking past, BCJ makes no noise, and yeah, too much to watch for.
Def sneaking above him over at Rafters, and that information game goes both ways. FaZe had got themselves into some weird positions, but they were themselves unaware of where the defensive players could be for XSET. So we're going to tie things back up at 2-2. The threat of Dicey's tour de force now offline. And look at how Baby Bay was punished here. This wrap around is a really crucial theme to punishing Neons. If you can get between the Neon and the rest of their team, and loop behind them through their wall, this kind of stuff. Yeah. You're going to be able to isolate Baby Bay a lot. And think about, there were multiple different ways that Baby Bay could have died. He had to dodge an op shot from Cryo even to start the round. And speaking of which, Cryo again. Yeah, they're still able to buy in this one, and still having to worry about Cryo's op, but it's not on any kind of angle early.
Yeah, well, Fastlane's going to get dropped down straight across the side here. Baby Bay, no, that's that random spam. Given a slight corridor, one angle. Def knew that he could just spam his way through and potentially be rewarded, and indeed he was. Baby removed, the spike will still go down, but XSET picking them apart as the reposition of FaZe is trying to be played here. They're trying to gain some control back onto the map. Still, Flyer gets the one. Superman takes it up. One little shot, okay, bit of a phantom moment, but he gets it in the end. But the double face of XSET is there. Zekken and Aaron, safe hands for them.
A very heavy theme from FaZe so far in this attack half. Early days, of course, but FaZe have been trending towards the A site in almost all of the rounds that we've seen played. On the pistol, on the force buy, here again, once we had a rifle v rifle round, trying to go for these fast execs into A and then get aggressive in the post plan. This time, instead of taking heaven control, because they had that cosmic divide from Supermen that was kind of blocking that area off, they instead pushed for screens. But Cryo did a good job of stopping them, or at least delaying them for long enough that the rest of the stragglers could get picked off. XSET's retakes have been clean. They were extraordinarily good against 100 Thieves. And they're looking good here again, able to deal with this aggression.
Yeah, unique puzzle, I think, that's facing a team like XSET as well. At the back of my head, I always think when I'm watching this team that they, I think, do well against teams that are a little bit more purposeful when they're doing the expected plays. FaZe don't tend to do that. They take a lot of risks sometimes.
They've been quite face up so far, though. They've been hitting wherever the Neon has been going. This time, playing much more of a spread default. Not going for a fast B hit here. But once more, you have kind of Baby Bay and Cryo facing off. The spike starts to head back away from A ramp as XSET are throwing utility in there to keep that area of the map under their control. And you can see, based on the defensive rotations, they're expecting this to be a B hit. Some kind of mid-split, perhaps. But they're reading this play.
Information was gained at some point, not sure when, but there we go. Null Command popped off, stun, rips across. Hexing up onto a couple of targets. Nobody's quite watching it. Def does cover it, but the damage always being done still. Swinging from poised, he's going to be dropped down to his knees, providing that information, but out of the fight. Dicey with this one. They have lined up for him. It's immaculate. The Resurrector's there, just baits it, and the angle was held. FaZe, they're going to bring it up now, even 3-3 on their attack side, a split. They're doing some damage and doing some work.
Yeah, they really need these rounds. If they have a chance of being able to take split away, their attack half has to be decent. 3 rounds on the board already is good. What went wrong for XSET there? Well, the Null Command just completely isolated those 2 players on site, and they had no idea that there was a player wrapping them around the pillar. A bit too static in terms of the anchoring against such a fast exec. FaZe are going to be quick. They're going to be on top of you before you can react. So XSET need to preempt these kind of moves.
Have to try and expect it.
XSET have a ton of ults to be able to work with here, but FaZe, again, are just keeping it simple. All of their players grouped up towards B main. They've thrown 1 default round, and it looks like they're just going to burst B again.
Yeah. I'm a surprised. XSET's economy not looking too good with the Spectres in hand, but now Rolling Thunder to pull. That's a player isolated. Right down, second no showstopper. Whips himself out of heaven. The satchel's in his hands. He does get the 1, but still the players are just toppling. Quarter force in hand for Cryo, but still that Cosmic Divide just blocking off that line of sight angle. He has to back away, has to respect it. Now down to the 3v3 Cryo. It's all down to the timing being taken, but Dicey just edges it out ever so slightly.
Cryo was reading that play so nicely. FaZe, Dicey going for the same play, really, that they've been doing on the A side, getting aggressive in the post plan. But Cryo's timing just not quite there. Double swing comes out from FaZe. They haven't quite managed to isolate a player. And BCJ is wrapping him.
This guy's a menace with a Spectre in hand sometimes, but the timing as well, the positioning being taken, Def doing enough to distract them as well, firing off a couple of shots, rattling it, making sure that the attention was focused. The perfect opportunity granted for BCJ to grab that round.
Everybody was looking hell there from FaZe, even in their player advantage situation. They're not able to win that one. This one's been back and forth, and that's been something you can't really say about FaZe games so far.
No.
They have either dominated the half or gotten plowed. So it's good to see both of these teams on somewhat even footing when you would consider XSET to be the heavy favorites here on Split.
It bodes well for potentially a close series.
We haven't seen FaZe go towards mid on any of these rounds so far, particularly. This time might be the exception. They had 1 round where they went towards vent after making a bit of pressure up towards A ramp. There is just so much utility here for an XSET.
Look at what if they get through. I mean, Baby Bay just disrespects it.
It's one of the advantages of having a maniac playing Neon on your team.
Yeah. Flash has bored him. He's going to be working his way up with the trademark on now. So just biding their time if they can still. Dicey holds the angle. The aim reset, man. What is that? 2 kills. And he gets the 3rd. Why not?
He's just so clean.
Name of the game is consistency with him.
1 enemy remaining.
And Bebe just locks down that 1 mid angle. The ropes, not letting any players from XSET rotate in.
XSET need to be able to trade those. If Dicey's able to run away with this series,
how does he do it?
It's going to be absurd. Dicey's been such a beast in the playoffs, and I think a lot of people are coming into this game wondering what that head-to-head is going to look like between Dicey and Cryo, or Dicey and Zekken. You know, these star players from XSET, are they going to be enough to shut him down? You heard Baby Bay talk about it in the interview. He said, we need to get on top of Cryo and Zekken early and squash them. That's a squashing that Dicey just gave them in that round.
Yeah, his consistency has just been honestly sublime. One of the best players in the North American playoffs, in my opinion.
Definitely.
When it comes to just the level of play. He's played some of the most games out of any other players, just in terms of the way that FaZe have traveled throughout this tournament and this bracket. And yet he's still putting up just incredible numbers.
Yeah. He's been better in the playoffs than he was in groups, and he was already crazy in groups.
It just reminds me, thinking back as well, when FaZe were just in the open quals, and the question was, can they do it in the group stage?
Yeah.
And I mean, they certainly did.
Well, guess what? They can do it in the group stage, and they can do it in the playoffs.
Here we are, lower finals. Reminder of the stakes as well. If you win this series, you are going to Copenhagen. It's one of the North American representatives.
But it's going to be a long series, I can tell you that one. Replay of Dicey hitting these clean shots. Def not quite there with the trade, and then Cryo comes to see if he can equalize the round or grab a pick, and just peeks straight into Dicey, who is 13-5 right now.
God almighty.
He would be top fragging even without that 4K that he managed in the round. So XSET take a timeout. They need to freeze the game a little bit here, as FaZe have picked up some momentum in the final 3 rounds.
Yeah. Notice all the rounds being won here off the back of these retakes.
Yes. XSET, I think, have come in with a smart game plan, which is to play retake a majority of the time. FaZe's composition, if you try and anchor the site against them, Baby Bay's going to be on top of you. And the amount of utility they have with the double flash and the stuns into the Astra
pull, everything.
It's absurd if you're trying to anchor sites against them. But you can see that FaZe are not content to just get the plant down. They want to push on the post plant as well. And that's where the real fight is going to end up happening. Whether XSET are able to control that. Of course, not exactly how round 8 went, but that has been a serious theme so far in the match. And this is going to be a rough buy.
Yeah.
Only BCJ saving the Vandal. This is going to allow FaZe to start treading towards a very successful first half.
This is where you can get the snowball going.
It's so weird watching FaZe, Brent, because they... actually, they're going to be pushing into a 3-player split here, so...
Yeah, I
have to see how this one goes.
I mean, XSET just stacking with a couple of players, maybe anticipating that they would lean over towards A. They've got the rifle over here. BCJ, I mean, he could do some serious damage, some serious work, and there he is. Flash popped around the corner. Another player spotted, and yep, boys, you're not going to be able to whip out any utility. No flashes available for you. A third online. Will he get the 4th? Not quite just yet, but his teammate's there to back him up anyway. Zekken with the swing and the trade, and that is going to be the thrifty online.
Oh, what a play by BCJ. You could see it was getting dangerous just by how the minimap was set up at the beginning of the round. Yeah, and it wasn't too much of a gamble either. Only 3 players A at the beginning of the round. It's where FaZe have been going the most, and they themselves are taking a timeout. Here's the replay. BCJ getting on a really tight off angle there. The pick up Baby Bay. Pop flashes himself back in with a nade that was coming out from Zekken too. To stop any players from getting aggressive on him and trading. Oh, BCJ's happy about that one.
He's feeling himself, man. He's feeling himself. I got to say as well, I mean, while we've got a bit of time here, the XSET guys, a lot of attention obviously on Cryo and Zekken, but I think this playoffs, I don't know, I've seen an uptick in terms of the performance of some of these players. BCJ has had some incredible moments. Aaron as well, I mean, he doesn't put up the highest numbers, but I think he's been particularly clean on a lot of these retakes as well.
I think the role change, putting Def more, I mean, I know he's playing smokes here on split because they're running double controller, but putting him more onto that flex initiator role and having Aaron play primary smokes, I think has helped both players in terms of consistency and in terms of their fragging output as well. But for FaZe, I mean, you could say kind of the same with Flyer coming into the team. That was a smart roster move, bringing him back on board. That's helped them go on this playoffs run. Both teams looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, massive round win for XSET.
And FaZe take the timeout and are essentially not adjusting anything. I mean, I'm sure there'll be some micro adjustments in terms of how they actually take the site hit.
But it is just going to be an A hit.
They're set up for the same thing. Fault line up, Neon takes A ramp. And the question is now more so just how do they deal with the A heaven control?
And they don't. They just simply don't. Okay. Complete disrespect being shown. And I'm not sure what the adjustment was there. A couple of pings. Players were facing within the fast lane. Baby Bay wasn't pushed up entirely. I think maybe the idea was that they punish anyone who tried to swing into it, but I mean, just absolute big guy buffs, big guy scenes. BCJ, look at this. They're just tearing them asunder.
And he finds the timing as BabyBay's got a stun in his hand. Just as BabyBay pulls out the stun, BCJ swings. And I think you're dead right, Bren. I think the FaZe adjustment there was supposed to be, let's hold the fast lane and try and punish the XSET players who swung. Yeah. And they didn't manage it. XSET still able to find the timing. Now FaZe are on a bad buy and running a bit more of a default with this early B main control. We've seen this kind of round before from them as well.
We've also seen them win these rounds a lot.
Very true.
Dicey, tour de force. Still a bit more cautious now.
Covering it. Obscuring vision.
In terms of the first half win rates, Bren, when you've been watching FaZe on their playoffs run, their first half v second half is just night and day. So the fact that they're starting off with 4 rounds here, it's pretty good. Their split attack has not been successful, but their first halves have been. But they need at least 5 in the first half to be able to win. That's just been the theme so far. I know that this is a attack side split and you can really pull out huge defensive rounds. But so far with FaZe, they've played so much better in the first half than they have the second. Some kind of weird psychological game at foot there, but
yeah, it's really strange, honestly.
I've never seen it before with another team in Valorant, but FaZe have been consistently repeating the same pattern in these playoffs. That they just take their foot off the gas in the second half a little. Or you could spin that the other way and that they come out of the gates incredibly strong.
This round largely cleaned up, I think, for XSET. Pretty standard stuff. You saw the Seekers being used in the mid-round just for that information in case there was a contact play, I imagine. In FaZe, they're worried about that when they're on this half pipe. Boys will look to do a bit of damage. Quick peek, gets the info. Picked up the rifle as well. Okay, well, no time though. Won't be able to win out this round unless somehow just goes around the map and kills both of them, but nothing else going to be happening.
But XSET have got good economy here as well, so even the damage that he's done is not truly important.
And it's the final round.
It's the final round of the half.
Yeah.
Cryo's still going to be able to op here. Aaron has a Viper's Pit. XSET have all the tools that they need to be able to shut this down. The question for FaZe, when you're playing against probably Aaron pitting off the rip, somewhere like mid, that's what he did with his previous ult, and you have Cryo opping, it feels like running a fast round would be a good idea. But FaZe have run so many fast rounds, and quite a number of them have failed, so they might be in a bit of a dilemma here. You can see this is actually going to be like a fake of the A ramp pressure, with the same fault line, a bit of a different wall being used, but actually the spike is not committed. Players aren't either.
Oh, baby bay! Okay, Zekken. Sidestep out from the box. He does get the trade online, and yeah, it's not the mid Viper's Pit. Aaron just dropped that one down. He had to respect the fact that they could be running through it, but still they have to get through all of this utility. The smokes dropped up. The Viper was down, but I'll be coming back soon enough.
For FaZe, I think they'll be happy with that. Going 1-for-1 with BabyBay and BCJ. I mean, BCJ's been on fire recently, and it's allowed FaZe to get a bit of mid control. These defensive players will pull towards A ramp at the beginning of the round, so they're not here early enough to contest.
Incredibly grouped from FaZe. 1 round and a half. They can make it 7-5.
That's pretty successful.
Yeah.
Okay, they're going to be walking back into Cryo here, holding the line with the operator to try and get Flyer in position to use his breach ult.
Dangerous. Recall on it. Cryo's got to be aware, surely. They could be making the play, just about respects it. Keeps away to safety and ended up spotting a lot of them. Rolling Thunder now scattered across. Cosmic Divide on top of it. And the pull. Everything being utilized for them to try and grab control of the B side and try and get that plant down. 20 seconds remaining with FaZe picking up that 1 kill in mid. This could be looking up right now for FaZe.
This Cosmic Divide is going to allow XSET to get a lot of control for their retake, but they are not going to be allowed to use any ultimates, any abilities at all. Poised with that null command. But look at the positioning of XSET. They know where these post-ban players are.
Wow, but the elevation, Superman is favored in that one. In fact, it's got a teammate just below him as well. Cryo holding it down, scoped up. Needs to find this angle, needs to find a shot to just try and at least create an opening for him, but now he's just left alone. Suppressed as well, can't even get out the Headhunter. An impossible task with the crossfire set up there, and that's going to be FaZe getting that 5th round on the board in this first half. 7-5 being the case here for Split. An interesting first half as well, going against the grain, I think, for what we expected of FaZe. Going to a short break. On the other side of things, we'll see the continuation of Split, so don't go anywhere. into the action here, second half of Split, our first map in this best of 5. And FaZe was, in terms of the history of them starting up, when it comes to these 7-5 halves, Josh, in the playoffs, I mean, what is it, just one map that they've won?
Yeah.
In this particular scoreline?
FaZe have had some extremely one-sided halves, but they've always been at the beginning of a map. They don't really have any maps where they've been able to do an incredible comeback. They did win 1-5-7 half against LG, where they were able to come back and still win the map, but generally they like to be leading. And so now, even though they're on the favored side, you could argue, of Split, I think this is still going to be a really sticky one for FaZe to try and pull out. They need Dicey to be going huge here for them, and Babybay to avoid those first deaths, of which he had tons in the first half.
Yeah.
Of course, you still want to apply the pressure and apply the threat to XSET, that you could be playing aggressive, that you can be retaking map control.
Look at how grouped they are.
Yeah.
Started over towards A main, anticipating a bit of aggression. Maybe they could battle out with numbers, and they are still grouped. XSET don't want to take any risks with this one.
For FaZe, they're actually running some kind of trap play, I think, off the back of a fault line. And now they're going to go and have Babybay clear out that area of the map.
Haven't taken B main, though. Still, Ever's aware. He knows that this position could be compromised and could be taken, and the crossfires are being set up now. FaZe obliterating XSET as they just try and work their way in from heaven.
And that B main control never happened. Dicey pushed Death and got aggressive onto him. Even as Dicey falls, Babybay's wrapped so quickly.
They don't know, though. Just bides his time. Effective enough. Some call it baiting, but it's certainly going to be getting a kill at the end of the day.
Sometimes baiting's good for your team.
Don't tell my ranked teammates that.
Stun onto Cryo, 2v4 now for the XSET players, and the FaZe retake is coming thick and fast.
Yeah, Aaron's got to do some absolute magic. I mean, with the frenzy in his hands, it might have been possible. Still, it's going to be FaZe. You're going to be able to get that defuse online. Now, winning that pistol round bodes well for them, I think.
Yeah, they might need to be taking, from XSET's point of view in that pistol, they might need to be taking somebody with Def to retake B main control there.
Yeah, the B main.
Because you know the extremities are going to be contested. The way that FaZe's defense works, they're going to have Babybay fighting on one side of the map. They're going to have Dicey posted up with his rendezvous on an aggressive off angle on the other side. And pick your poison on which one you end up going into there. You've got to be cautious of it. And now this is XSET forcing. Same situation as round 2. XSET are going to buy up into this.
Whoa. It's risky.
With Spectres and only a Frenzy for Zekken.
That is risky. Opted into it, though. And they have taken a lot of space. Up into mid, into the ropes, just scouting it out, making sure that there's no, again, unsavory angles. A bit delayed in terms of the way they were peeking that one, but crouched, looking for a bit of information. FaZe players, though, look at their positions, ready to absorb anything that might just come their way over towards A. Poised anchoring in the far back as well. Screens being watched down. Babybay just in heaven, right around this corner. A knife, great information going to be found.
I mean, that is a ton of info.
3
XSET
players.
may well have to adjust their game plan in this round. Expecting a defensive rotation to come through, or at least FaZe to be ready on the trigger. XSET now looking like they want to fake towards B heaven, or perhaps commit. There is a trademark here, and getting the information on where Dicey is playing that could be important for future gun rounds as well.
Trademark is going to trigger that fault line. Gets destroyed. Fault line rips across. Still, they are fast into the side here. XSET not wasting any time, but still, Fly holds onto the high ground. Dicey as well was not pushed away from that one angle at the back of the pillar. And they have just fallen. XSET, only Aaron left alive, and with this force into this one, the economy is going to be taken. Once again, a tumble, a reset. Back to the drawing board.
This is exactly what FaZe needed to get them into this game. Aaron's not giving up, still going for it with the Spectre, but ends up getting shut down. And I really feel like XSET have opened the door to a FaZe. I'm not going to call it a comeback. It was only a 7-5 half, but this could be a bit of momentum that FaZe need to get something really going on their defense side. Yeah. And what a demon Dicey has been so far in this half.
Yeah, part of the reason it's so dangerous is because of this guy at the top of the scoreboard. I mean, he had a phenomenal first half, just in terms of what he was putting up numbers-wise. But now you're in his playground, the defensive side, where he can take those off angles. He can hold the space.
Yeah.
And he's going to disrespect you. Even if you use utility to clear him, he's going to be holding his angle most of the time still.
And on the pistol round, he gets rid of Def and holds on to B main control. In that second round, he kills 2 players that are coming down from B heaven.
Just not worried about it at all, was he?
So this is going to be a light buy from XSET. Aaron going for a Spectre. Sometimes it feels like that's his weapon of choice, even on the rifle rounds.
Yeah.
And this is, once more, a pretty standard approach to the defense from FaZe. They're not going to fight really aggressively for mid most of the time.
Unbelievable, the flash. Oh, boy.
One enemy remaining.
Not a
Dealt
chance.
with. And look at that, right on the other side of things. Poised. Looks like he was set up nicely with the rest of his team.
Yeah, just playing off the back of Baby Bay.
Yeah.
You've got that duo of Poise and Baby Bay holding down A main really aggressively. And that makes the Viper utility from Arin functionally useless. Because the Viper utility is supposed to fake like you could be going up A ramp. You could be taking that area of the map with 1, 2, 5 players. And if FaZe are playing A ramp aggressively
Just
with
right
Poise and
past
Baby
it.
Bay, you're never worried about people lurking up that area.
Yeah.
Of course, it means that you're not as quick to pivot on some kind of mid hit. Running an A split might be particularly effective on those rounds.
All lined up for him.
Yeah.
So
So
by
XSET,
round.
XSET are finally going to have rifles here.
Yeah. Get some better weaponry in their hands. FaZe look to potentially snowball this one out of control. Oh, Valorant's going to be cheering for them on the desk.
Is Cryo not buying armor here? Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he had the money for it. Maybe just forgot. Oh, the close-up dog, BCJ. Oh, my word.
Just mixing it up. FaZe haven't fought for mid at any point in this half so far. Walk down, punish onto BCJ. Easy peasy.
That is dire.
Dicey 5-0 in first kills.
He is absolutely demolishing. Except looking to try and take a bit of a contact play, but they're going to expect this one. Cryo, he has just opened it up. Wasn't looking great for them, especially with that angle that Baby Bay was holding. You never really anticipate that, but still, the damage now done. Poised. Monstrous task ahead of him to try and anchor this one down. His teammates, though, supporting Superman from the high ground. You got to be joking. And he collects 3. No one trades him out. Another round win for FaZe, and an important one. Once more, the gun's taken out of XSET's hands.
Doing superbly here. And one of the themes of FaZe defense is that they're not even letting XSET get into post-plant situations. They are crushing them, anchoring the sights, pressuring their extremities. This time, going for the first pick down mid.
Down A.
And putting the squeeze on them as they enter through these choke points. This is a very different approach to the defense side from these two teams. And for FaZe, it's working beautifully.
Yeah.
In the group stage, this team was playing retakes all the time. That was all they were going for on their defense side. And now they've mixed it up superbly.
Those extra elements that they sprinkle in every now and then.
More aggression towards A ramp. Aaron finds one, traded out, and they're using that information to try and get really quick through B heaven.
That's a really fast pivot.
But they don't have B main control again. It's Dicey once more, holding down that area of the map.
Ooh. Yeah, the bird's going to go a bit skew with there. Aftershock pushes them back once more. I like the idea behind XSET. They wanted to quickly take space. They've been pushed back. Once again, cautiously trying to retake. Hold control, hold those angles. But Josh, you are right. They gave up that B main control. Dicey. Oh, it could be dangerous still. Cross their placement slightly off. Flash off to the side. He dodges it. They're going to be rewarded though. Flyer also takes out Cryo.
Dicey is so pushed. I mean, he's contesting market angles at the moment.
He's fearless.
He really is.
He really is fearless. This is a thing as well that's honestly I respect the most about FaZe is that these guys have been adding so many extra bits and pieces to their overall game plan over the course of the playoffs. They've been evolving as a team, but they haven't lost the confidence. A lot of teams tend to drop that as well, especially in these high-pressure situations. An elimination match. Not only that, Copenhagen on the line, but still, they make these plays.
Yeah, Babybay's not afraid to take the first fights, even when they're going poorly, if he thinks it'll set up the rest of his team.
He's happy to do it.
Dicey is not afraid to take duels against anybody.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you've got Superman putting up that playoffs performance again. Valen was talking about it on the desk. This guy steps up. When the pressure is on, Superman delivers.
Nasty.
And they really are shutting down the XSET star players. It's not been an explosive performance coming out from Cryozek. We've had some moments where Cryo's been able to grab a couple of entry kills up in A ramp and make something happen for XSET. But overall, this has been a limp attack side. FaZe really coming out swinging here. Up 10-7.
Timeout for XSET. Got to work out difference maker, I think. Because they are really just finding it hard to get an edge. All this aggressive A main control that FaZe are playing initially off the rip, it means that they can't get value out of the Viper lurk.
Yeah.
Dicey is just, I mean, even if you use utility to clear him out, it feels like he's still going to be coming back to disrespect you in B main, wherever he might want to be playing.
And for XSET, they have a really weird puzzle for them on attack, because they can take mid control. I don't doubt that. XSET could have mid control for free in a lot of these rounds if they put bodies there. But the question is, when you get to the site, how do you plant freely and play post plants in that situation when you don't have a ramp or you don't have B main? It makes these post plant situations really wonky were they to get into them. And FaZe are fighting tooth and nail for extremities. Look at this again.
So much dumped into this one, but the players are ready. VCT on the ropes. Everybody dealt with. He's going to be falling. A lot of utility out of that one as well. You see from XSET side of things, they're just making sure that they can hold control of mid as the Trailblazer comes up, scouts a bit of what might be lurking up into B heaven. The XSET players are leaning a completely different way.
Look how much of the map XSET have for free. They could walk into A heaven right now. They could walk into the site if they knew that this area was open. And FaZe are just determined to hold onto the A ramp and B main areas.
Aaron is in, he's so far in his spawn.
This is just going to come down to timing.
What is going on here?
And whether Flyer and Poise can hit some shots.
He holds it still. Poise just making a solo push there into the sewers. XSET. And he was a shift jumping up there into sewers, but BCJ catches him.
And they've dealt with the threat. A really wild push out of A main.
Oh my goodness.
But eventually Flyer and Poise do fall, and they only took one player with them. This should allow XSET to get into a decent post-plant situation, 4v2. Barring any miracles coming out from the two top fraggers of FaZe, Superman and Dicey.
Yeah, Superman, okay. Opportunity to deny the plant. I think planted for heaven there with a bit of spam, but doesn't find it. Needs to wait for Dicey to try and cover his back, and he is in heaven now. Oh, up onto the ramp, 31 health. Does he find the shot? Does he find the mark? The answer is no. Dicey also in his maker.
FaZe still with a decent lead, but we've seen them slip up in these second halves before.
I think we should also...
They need to close the door on XSET and start to punish the economy here, I think, because XSET are getting it into a decent place right now. Heading into round 19. A reminder that XSET are 14-2 this year on Split. They don't lose this map, except to top-tier opponents. And FaZe have looked a bit dodgy here. So this would be a major upset to begin this BO5 series.
It would really, I think, shift as well some of the expectations of the overall series. I mean, we heard the analyst desk. I think everybody would have expected XSET to be favored in this one.
Yeah, just because you're the favorite doesn't mean you win the match. If that was always the case, we wouldn't even bother playing the games.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Dicey's going to play a tucked position here at B main. He's been contesting this area really aggressively in some of the previous rounds, but XSET still have the guts to just contact walk into B. That could have meant death to any of their players. They are just peeking these angles without utility, and that means Dicey doesn't realize how close these players are. They could be in his face before he can respond, but of course, the rendezvous always going to be good for it.
Jiggle peek. Flash, Dicey dodges it. Face to one side.
No one's looked at him.
Anybody going to scale off of this one here? Second. Okay, BCJ eventually covers that one angle. Second's life not going to be in vain, but maybe he wants to try and play this one fast and loose still with the overdrive. Oh, it's taken out of his hands. Sent straight back. Looking at that scoreboard still. Okay, fragment from Poise. It's going to be denying quite a bit, but Cryo, he's got the impeccable timing. Lurking his way through mid. Takes it in the end. Helps his team out.
What a bold call from Def, I think, in that round. I really can't overstate how much danger there could have potentially been.
Into that.
Just contacting into the area of the map where Dicey's been playing aggressive angles. And then look at the double take from BCJ. He flashes. That was his second flash. The first one a bit of a fake, I think, just to help the first end. And then flashes himself through, takes a look at the close left, and then he processes the information.
Yeah.
Well, that's Dicey.
Just the whip back is like, oh my goodness.
And also,
out of control.
Just speaking to the confidence of Dicey that he doesn't go for the rendezvous there. That he just holds it.
Just disrespects it, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's just playing to disrespect XSET and see if he can pick up some cheeky kills here and there and turn the round around. This game is now getting really close. It was neck and neck the entire first half. FaZe obviously getting out to a really strong lead in the second. But XSET feel like they've figured something out here. They were able to dismantle, or get a pick over by A ramp and cause a bit of chaos in the camp when it came to round 18. And round 19 is just a B exec where they don't lose a player early on because they're able to take a lot of map control off the rip.
Just for free. Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of read they had that, you know, Dicey wouldn't be playing that angle. It ends up working out for them. Potentially the fact that Dicey has been playing back at pillar every time they've been trying to go for those BX execs straight from heaven.
Yeah. The question is, do they mix it up? This looks like it's going to be a bit of mid-aggression for FaZe. They caught BCJ with his dog in his hands last time.
Cryo, oh my goodness, you're in danger. Aftershock, the vulnerable! It's all comboed up together.
That's perfect. That is really well played.
That is so nerdy.
You know that the player is going to tuck into that angle if they hear a flash and a neon running down mid.
My
Punished to perfection. Gorgeous utility from Superman and Flyer.
He's going to be happy with that one. Out of all the players as well to get that opening pick on, Cryo's the one who's honestly been salvaging some of these rounds.
He has, but he's also been playing the lurk role in some of them too. So I think XSET will still have the front-loaded firepower to get into some of the sites here. Using the blast pack to get rid of the trademark. That triggers out Fragment Grenade from Poised as he tries to retain control over B Heaven. Flash, a knife. Using a lot of the KO utility there to gain information in B Heaven. And now XSET have just bled it out and can go back into him.
The idea here, maybe a bit of a fake onto the A side. Looks like they were leaning for the stars. Okay. Contact play.
It's just impeccable.
Boys just holds it down. The reset. Aaron looks to try and salvage anything, but Dice is watching it.
Oh, what a tremendous play by Poised. I think he overuses his utility a bit there, and XSET have the right read. It's a good call from Def to go back into Poised. But you're not expecting the KO to hit a 3K on you as you walk into heaven.
This is the danger of FaZe, isn't it?
It is. There's so much
Every
attention
single
on
one of
Baby
these
Bay and
players.
Dicey, but they do have potent fraggers.
Look at this. Bit of lack of confidence maybe there from Def as well. Didn't want to take the fast and loose swing to try and trade that one.
Well, they've been contacting a lot around the map, trying to draw out utility from FaZe and get into an advantage when they finally exec. But you are going to run into danger. You are just going to walk into people's crosshairs occasionally.
Important round for XSET if you look at the money. It's one they're going to need to convert because a few of them might be able to buy onto the next round upcoming, but
Valen spoke about how XSET like to approach their split attack, using a lot of mid control and then splitting with the showstopper. So all eyes on Zekken here with his ult online. Round 21, such a pivotal round.
they might struggle with this one though.
Def is once more going to attempt to take B main control and knows that Dicey could be around there. This time asks for a flash from BCJ to get onto the angle. And it looks like they're going to take the showstopper into B main instead of going for that split play through mid.
Dicey could do some serious damage. Any player that oversteps himself. Cosmic Divide, double satchel play, and look at that. What a disrespect. He stands his ground against it, poised as well from heaven. He's going to be supporting it.
30 seconds left.
And the play is just disrupted. The play is killed. Yet Aaron, he wants to capitalize. He lurked his way up through mid and he's managed to find his opening. Snakebite. Great timing with that one. It locks out FaZe. They can't follow up on all of this. He just needs to hold this, but time is running low, Josh.
Def is sprinting. His little legs are going
So
as fast
low
as
on
they
the time.
possibly can.
10 seconds left.
And these FaZe players have been locked out for a moment. He is just going to be able to get to the site in time. And once more, Cryo is on the lurk here.
Something needs to happen here. Big performance out of one of the players, running right into the fast lane. Aaron tries to take the timing, still from the high ground once more. Ripping around, and it's Def who secures it. But the help of Cryo, it's enough of a distraction that they just about get it.
Gorgeous play there. Really good from both sides, actually. I love the slide coming out from Baby Bay. You could see how much that messed with the crosshair placement.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Cryo's been really smart on these lurk plays. You expect Cryo to be a heavy hitter, to be dueling in the same way that Dicey does and trying to find entry kills for them. But instead, he's actually picking up much more of a backstabbing role in the post plants.
Almost what Def used to do.
Yes, absolutely. Def used to be a heavy lurker, and this time he's actually going with the spike into the site. And it's Cryo that's picking up that backstab role. And Aaron does a gorgeous job with his lurk.
Setting it up.
Setting that play up.
Yeah.
Once more, a slow default to begin this round, seeing if they can catch some aggression from Baby Bay. The score 10-11. dancing on a knife's edge here.
It really is. Baby Bay, I cannot believe this. Just waddles his way up. Of course, being backed up in the end. The stun. No way.
How does Second get out?
I mean, he saturates himself away, just hopping.
He was about to get stunned up. One-tapped Baby Bay. And then backs it up. The Spike, in the meanwhile, is outside B main. And Dicey was holding that angle with the operator.
He's still pushed.
He's still in a really advanced position. Look at the ping on the map. XSET know that he could be here.
And they're going to be starting to use that utility. The flash, though, oh, it's slightly off. Slightly ajar. Doesn't even catch onto Dicey.
Just a perfect, tiny angle for Dicey to be holding. It is really difficult to get a flash that perfectly aligns with the angle he's holding there.
And of course, he's still going to be holding this angle. Of course, he's still disrespecting it.
How can he keep getting away with it?
Another kill for his collection.
Just chamber things, isn't it?
On the straight pass. Don't even think he's got the teleport online, but he does not care. Smokes up, though. Aaron has found a cheeky timing in this one. Working his way up to new box, but Flyer more than aware. Spike dropped down to the floor, and that's going to be called easily enough. FaZe bring it to 12, and now just one round away.
FaZe would begin this series with a serious blow to XSET here. Their third loss all year on Split. If FaZe can find this final round, and XSET's economy is not looking good. Even on light armor, Spectre, Zekken, their big entry player, with a Spectre in hand as well. And he hasn't really, he's been suffering the same fate of so many of these other XSET players, getting picked off left, right, and center by the FaZe guys.
Yeah. What a difficult round, but FaZe are primed, ready and waiting. Ultimates, the weaponry, it's all going their way.
One round win, taking Split would topple all of the expectations for how the maps theoretically should fall in this series. There's a long way to go, of course. But Dicey's been the man for it. Posted up again into B main here.
And it's so slow by XSET. Look at the contain. They've done a couple of rounds like this, and they've been rewarded for it with FaZe just overextending, trying to fight over A main or mid.
I love how confidently Zekken gets round behind the Trailblazer there. Throwing the blast pack down in case there's some piece of utility or to help him take an advantageous duel. And they know where this trademark is. Dicey's been putting the trademark in pretty much the same place every time.
Every time.
But if you're trying to B-split with 40 seconds left, Flyer's got his Rolling Thunder.
They've got this contain as well. There's really no time. You can feel that the pressure is mounting, and XSET
There's
looking
30
a bit
seconds.
flustered. Looking a bit flustered. Still, the trademark eventually goes down, but there's a bit of a set play off of it. Nade rebounds. It was a flash to push them back. Time is running low, and XSET, they're going to be punished for it. The Rolling Thunder rips across. Second, he's taken out easily enough, and Flyer still there, ready and waiting once more. Up on Heaven, the shot's still just about whiffing. 15 seconds left. Cryo's going to be tearing his way through onto the site. The plant, it needs to go down, but Dicey's been contained.
What a turnaround from XSET. What a round from Cryo.
How did they do that?
They muscled into B Heaven past the Rolling Thunder that had isolated and taken down Zekken. They dug deep for that one, but they need one more to take us to OT. Can they pull out the magic again here?
Cryo with 4 kills in that round.
Absurd performance. And now he's going to be opping on attack. Both of the chambers picking up the operator. Cryo maybe expecting some kind of aggression coming out on A.
He's just holding this angle.
But if anyone pushes him here, it's going to be off the back of a fault line. It's going to be off the back of a stun from the Neon as well. This op feels like he's going to have to dance around the utility to get value out of it. And FaZe are actually fighting for mid. They've made an adaptation here. No aggression off the bat. The problem with this setup is that FaZe have to be worried about an A-ramp lurk. They're hoping the conditioning of the A-main aggression that they've been showing on defense will stop XSET from going for something like that.
Yeah. See on the minimap there, Aaron actually putting up a lot of his Viper utility, just signifying that they could be going for that lurk into a ramp down. The satchel, Second gets the 1, but Poised cleans up 2.
Poised, what? Monster performance from Poised. He's been up there with Superman and with the heavy hitters of FaZe. Takes down the stars. Cryo and Zekken both hit the deck. And now it falls onto the more supportive players of XSET to see if they can recover this and get to OT.
40 seconds in the round. FaZe, they've got this player advantage. The ultimates are being committed here. Seeker's scattered across. Def's ended up falling. He was trying to catch that one timing, trying to get some space onto B, but Dicey was just watching it. All up to BCJ and Aaron. 24 seconds remaining. It's looking inevitable for FaZe to grab this first map in the series. Still holding it down. Still Aaron with the operator now. 16 seconds, a quick jiggle. He can't find a shot and poised. He gets it. The tip tap with the movement.